Hi guys, Crafty Mom here. This is part 3 of our DIY book series. And today I'm going to show you again how we bound the book, or put the cover on the book. And then I will show you how we dyed some of the pages, and I will give you a walkthrough on some of the pages
for this book. Make sure, okay, so this is the way it's gotta go, because my ribbons have to go in this direction. So I've already bound the sides, and I will show you I'll show you how I do this. Yeah, anyway, I've already bound the sides. I just use some old denim jeans to cover because it's durable. And I like this binding because it opens up pretty wide. It doesn't lay flat, but it opens up pretty wide. So what I do is, first of all, I don't know if you can see how it's too long here. So I'm just gonna take and trim that off with some scissors. Like so. It doesn't have to be exact, but I mean, if you want it exact, by all means measure and cut it exact. So that trims off that, and then I have my back page and my front page. And I showed you in a previous video how I covered these to make them look like leather. They're just cardboard. That's all they are. You can see. So then I take and I lay my book piece, my book pages, onto the back piece, just like so. And then I lay my front piece on, just like so. Just like that. And I just use, so I have this extra piece that's not painted. And I just kind of go in and kind of fold it, bend it, so that the binding kind of flips backwards a little bit. And then I just use, I prefer using the glue all, but I'm currently out of this stuff. I only have a little bit left. But that's what I prefer to use. But Elmer's glue works, and I just go, so you can see this. I glue along the edge and just kind of give it a decent coat of glue. And just kind of go around like that. And then I take my front cover and lay it on just like I want it, however I want it to be. And don't worry if it's not exact, because it can be fixed. Well, this inside piece will be covered, and I'll show you in just a minute what I mean by that. So then I flip it, and I flip it. And then I do the same thing to the back. Bend it out so that the binding is not stiff anymore. And then I apply glue, paying special attention to the denim here. And I pull it all the way around. Now this is not by any means a professional book binding or anything. I just wanted to make books for projects that I was doing. And so I went ahead and created these books. And again, these are not by any means professional. It's not a professional binding job. It's not a professional book making anything. So then I usually put something heavy on top to kind of hold it down, or I bind it with these binding clips. This is too wide to bind, so I will place something on top until it's dry. And then when it's dry, your front cover will finish the front cover. But in the meantime, we will move on to the pages. So I am currently making a second book. Well, I actually have, this is the fourth book I'm making. So I will show you how to paint these pages. There's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can dip paint them, so using water and paint and dipping the paper into that, but it takes a really long time to dry, and it can be messy. The preferred way I like, that makes it very beautiful and makes each page unique, is I like to take plain watercolors, just a set of watercolor, and then just pick a color. So we're gonna do purple here. Get it kind of wet, and then just do like a wash over the paper. Now bear in mind you'll have to do all four sides, because I mean this is the size of the page that the book page that we're doing. I will try to make a bigger one, but right now we're just making littler ones. And this one I was thinking about giving away to a family member for a gift as a journal, but I don't know if I will do that or not, or if I'm just gonna keep it, because I do have an idea for another book. But anyway, you just if you want it to dry faster, because it does take some time obviously for watercolors to dry completely so that they can be used as paper, you can use a hairdryer. That works great. Or you can just let it air dry, but it doesn't take too long. You just want to wait before you do the inside pages, you want to wait till these outside pages are completely dry. And you'll know when they're completely dry. Let's go with some of this green. Do a couple more pages of the green. My children have made books, or I shouldn't say have made books. My daughter just has hers almost ready to put her cover on. Her pages are bound together. My son is still painting his pages, but he's not as, art is not his thing, so he doesn't get as into it, so he only can do like 1 or 2 pages a day. I have done, my books, I have 3 of them. They all 3 of them have 100 pages each. So I have painted so far, I'm not counting this book, but so far I've done 150 pages, because they each have 100 pages, but they're folded in half. So there's 50 pages that needed to be painted. And so I've done 150 pages so far with this watercolor technique, and I really do like it. Another technique that I did use on a couple of the pages was it's permanent marker and rubbing alcohol. You just write with the permanent marker and then drip on the rubbing alcohol, and it kind of gives it this interesting little look. And this does all 4 sides, so like this one too as well. Like I said, it does all 4 sides because the rubbing alcohol bleeds through. Another page that was done. Oh, this is the dip dyeing technique. You can also tea dye or coffee stain if you'd like your papers. I am just using a regular, computer paper. This one was kind of cool because we just dripped the paint on there, so it looks kind of cool. This one is the one we just did. Here's another one of the permanent marker ones. So it kind of gives you the impression on other pages. But, I mean, these will be cool to decorate when we actually go in and start decorating the pages. So to show you a completed bound book. This isn't the only one I have. I have another one. Give me a second. So these are 2 of the completed books I have. So I have this one here, and it's got, these are dip dyed pages, so they just kind of look old and like kind of tea stained. They do have a few, well, these ones back here were dipped in pink paint. These ones were dipped in brown and tan paints. So this one was completely dip dyed. They were not painted at all. I did not do the watercolor paint at all. So that's what you got on here. And then this is the inside cover that I was talking about. And then we have our title page and our first page. And then I have this on the back. So, oh, and I did a decorative just with some wire. Made just a little decorative, I don't know if you can do that, a little decorative piece here on the corner. And I painted the denim to kind of look leather-ish. Alright, and then this one is book number 2. I'm working on, I just bound book number 3, I just showed you. But these ones, I painted the pages of these books with watercolors, like I was showing, the technique I showed you. And I really like how these turned out because they're really cool. And this is the inside of this book. And then our title page. So I'm going to take a little card, so my name's in here, but I'm going to cover that up and show you the first page. This is a poem I wrote on this page, and this honestly is one of my favorite pages. I just watercolored a sunflower and some roses, and then there's some hyacinths and some tulips. See that? Tulips. And then, like I said, this is a poem that I wrote that I just put on some. I painted watercolor on some watercolor paper, and then I wrote the poem and put it on some cardstock, and then glued it into the book. I don't really have too many pages worked in here. For those of you who are familiar, this is not a grimoire by any means. I don't know if there is one like this, but this is going to be a book of memories, so to speak. I also poked a hole down here so that I could tie it shut when it gets too wide. As you can see, it's starting to bow. Because I have stuff in there, I'm just not done with the pages. But this is going to be, so let me show you one of one of the pages. So I have a New Year's, well, let me show you a better one. I have this one. It's a Happy Halloween page. Okay. And over here on this side, I am putting, so this will be here. And then on this side, I will have some things here. And it's going to describe traditions that I did as a kid with my family. And then if I have any new traditions with my children and my husband, it will be put in here so that it can be handed down to other generations so that they can know, oh, this is what grandma did, or this is what my great grandma did, or this is what my great uncle did. That sounds like fun. I want to carry on that tradition. In the back, so I'll have holidays, and I have all the holidays because as a kid I did different things than I do as adult for the most part. I've added new traditions since I've gotten older with my own children and with my husband, and incorporating his family into his family traditions into our family. So I have holidays, and then I will have family members. So in the family members section, I will have I'll have the name, but so for example, grandma so and so. I will have descriptions of things that I remember doing with my mom that I would like to pass down to grandkids or great grandkids or great great grandkids. You know, things that I want them to remember about my mom, or my grandmother and grandfather, or you know, things just things about family members that I want them to remember because it's important for them to remember in order for them to know who they are and where they come from. So that's what this book is going to be, is just a book of memories, so to speak. I had been thinking about this, and I wanted to start my book of shadows, but I thought that this one was more important. So as in the beginning of the book, as you saw, it starts with me because I'm the one that's creating this book, and so this is my page. And then it will have a page for all of the family members that I would like to remember, and all of the holidays, traditions, and things like that. This one, I'm not necessarily a naturalist, but I do think that herbs and natural treatments for illnesses and things are super important, and that's what I'm putting in this book, is all of my herbal treatment, or things that I know work and what they work for. Like I said, I'm by no means a naturalist because I don't go. If it gets bad enough, I will go to the doctor. But I like to try natural things first. I don't like taking medications. So I do natural things first, and I want to put all of those in here. My third book will be my actual book of shadows. And then the last book that I haven't put together yet, that I was painting the pages for, I think will be a dream journal. So when I dream things, I will put them in and make a dream journal. So I hope you enjoyed this series. I enjoyed doing it. I will show you, if you would like, how I do my pages in each one of my books. Like I said, I've never heard of anyone doing a book similar to this one, but I do think it's important that it's done. I think that it's important for memories to be passed on. And in my family, dementia does happen. I mean, there's no getting around that. My grandmother unfortunately suffered from it. And there's lots of things I wish that we had written down that she had knew and mentioned and said that didn't get documented, and now it's gone. So I want, I'm not saying that it's gonna happen to me, but if it ever did, I want my memories and my memories of my family to be documented so that it can be passed on and not forgotten. That's kind of why I started this. Because once they're gone, once people are gone, they're gone, and there's no getting them back, and then you just regret. And I don't want there to be any regrets. So that's what this book is for. I don't know how long this will last. This all might get tore up and ripped up and put into another book, a more heavy-duty book, but for now, this is what I've got. I think it's a nice book. I mean, this one, the pages open pretty wide. I mean, the way I did the binding on this, it worked out pretty well, if I do say so myself. Especially since I haven't ever actually done books before. And this one does not open as wide because I did the binding a little differently. This one I glued, this one I sewed. And I like the glue better because it opens wider. But I mean, this is still a workable book. I can still work in it. So, if you have any questions or comments or whatever, please feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I will be happy to answer you. I will probably be doing some more videos like these, because this feels more natural to me than. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like to do makeup, and I love doing that, and I have some makeup related videos coming. I've got some teaching videos coming that has to do with makeup, but I like doing the crafts and I like doing the books. I also have a bullet journal that I was going to do a walkthrough with you guys on that as well, so stay tuned for that. But this is more stuff that I enjoy doing. I mean, I like expressing myself through art. And honestly, I didn't know you could do a Book of Shadows this way. However, by no means do these books need to be made for a Book of Shadows. You can make them for journals. You can make them, hang on a second and I will show you. My son is doing his, and you can't really see it very well. Well, I guess you can. He's got the Dodge symbol on his. He's a total car kid. He has to finish his, needs to finish his. He's got the Dodge symbol on his. My daughter is a huge Supernatural fan, so she has the Mark of Cain on her book. But they're just making theirs for journals to write in, for just because, or just, my daughter I think is going to use hers for her art work, but my son, he is using it to collect his thoughts about cars and to put cool cars in there and do collages of cars and things like that. So I mean, you don't have to use it as a Book of Shadows by no means. I mean, you can put whatever symbol you want on there, and I know I filmed how we did the symbols. They're just glue, hot glue, that was, we traced over a symbol and glued it onto the board and then covered them, and I know I filmed that, so that will be up shortly so you can see how that was done. But yeah, stay tuned guys. I mean, I enjoy making these videos for you, so have a great day. Bye.